So what's going on guys, Kids here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today we are comparing Diablo Immortal versus Black Desert Mobile in 2022. So if you're looking for the best MMORPG on the mobile, then these are the current top 2 best games on the market. So for you to decide which game is better and which one you should play, we will look into different classes and how balanced they are for each game. Then we will look at different activities that you can do, then how does the PvP feels like, and then lastly we will go into the gameplay, and you will be able to see how the looting system works, what endgame looks like, how many dungeons and content there is to do, which game has the worst pay to win, and much more. So if this sounds interesting to you, then let's get right into it. So Diablo Immortal is a free-to-play MMORPG, designed initially for only mobile devices, but now it's available for both PC and iOS and Android. Diablo Immortal takes place between the events of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, so you will find many similarities in the gameplay from both of these games. Many of the Diablo Immortal activities are designed to be small in size, so that means that 4-player groups. And no matter if you're playing on PC or mobile, a single dungeon should usually take only about 10 to 15 minutes. Then as for using skills, they feature auto-aim, generally towards the nearest enemy, but as well the player can manually aim each skill. Some abilities will also charge while their skill button is held, which will increase their damage and AoE range. Then as for Black Desert Mobile, it is a realistic medieval fantasy MMORPG. The combat in Black Desert is action-packed, requiring manual aiming and free movement, similar to different games in first-person shooters. The game offers housing, fishing, farming and trading, as well as large player versus large player siege events and castle battles. An active combat system requires auto and manual aiming, dodging and even using combos. Unlike more other mobile games that are more tab targeting, the skills can be activated by using one of your combos for attacking, dodging or blocking. Players are also able to engage in mounted combat. Mounts can be acquired by taming them in the wild, and players are able to breed special mounts by mating certain types. So in Diablo Immortal, players can create one or more character to use within the game. When creating a character, you can select one of the game's 6 classes called Barbarian, Wizard, Monk, Necromancer, Demon Hunter and Crusader. Each class has 12 unlockable skills, from which the player chooses 5 to use on his skill bar. Each class in Diablo Immortal offers extensive versatility in skill progression, and through your game experience, you will be able to personalize your build and fine-tune your character to play the way you want. So then in Black Desert Mobile, there are 6 classes to pick from. Each class has very unique playstyle. You can choose to play as a warrior, ranger, witch, giant, valkyrie or sorceress. Each one of these classes has several unique abilities, and each class excels at some aspects of the game. After you pick a class, you will be able to customize your character's appearance. The developers really went above and beyond with this feature. In Black Desert Mobile, you can pretty much customize any aspect of your character's look. So you can change the hair, eyes, facial structure, and pretty much anything else that comes into mind. So in Diablo, throughout the gameplay, characters earn experience points, which allows them to increase their level. As characters increase their level, they become more powerful, earning new skills and increasing the power of existing skills. Once a player's character has reached the game's level cap of level 60, they can get additional paragon levels, and this paragon system allows you to further upgrade your character by gaining bonus stats and unlocking unique specialization skills. So then in Black Desert you progress through the story, which provides you with gear to upgrade, unique stones to enhance your gear, and even skill points to use on your build. Similar to Diablo, Black Desert has a level cap, and then from here you can get additional levels, but it goes very slowly. The main way you level up in the endgame is by gear progression. Black Desert Mobile puts a priority on combat rating over character's level. So with the right amount of armor, weapons and enhancements, you can decimate any enemies in your path. But without the gear, you have a very difficult time to progress in the game. Usually your endgame will consist of doing daily quests and farming open world mobs for hours upon hours for a chance to get that powerful item. So in Diablo Immortal, one of the most fun PvE activities is the bestiary system that adds to the lore of Diablo Immortal and rewards you with loot. So basically, after you complete early part of the main storyline, while leveling your character, you can find missing pages that describe the different monsters you can fight, and all of them are separated in 3 different types called unique, rare and common. When you find one of these pages, you receive free gold, items and battle points. And then besides all the basic activities like normal quests, zone events and etc., we have the raids and dungeons. This activity is one of the core PvE gameplay, where you go in dark caves and fight other monsters, till you find the endgame boss and defeat him, which then in return will get your super cool rewards and much more. Normal dungeons you can do by yourself or with a group, and for now there are 7 dungeons currently, and each one with their unique design and strategies. But then in Black Desert Mobile, the PvE is a lot different. Most of it, if not all of your time, will be spent in open world, where you'll be farming bunch of monsters for the best gear possible. So here's what exists as PvE content. You can grind mobs in various areas. Then you can get boss scrolls to get mats and rare jobs. Then you can do dark rifts that spawn regional bosses of varying difficulties that give you chest job rewards. Then you can do different world bosses that spawn on set timers. Then as well you can farm field bosses that spawn randomly. And then lastly you can grind 2 or 5 man areas, which means that you will need 2 to 5 players that are fully geared, because there will be a lot of challenging monsters. So then going over to Diablo Immortal PvP, and there is an activity called Battlegrounds, that is an 8v8 event which is available every day for 2 hours. There is a matchmaking rating system that places you in a team based on your games played and win ratio, and most importantly, all of this is solo queue, so you can form a party before playing this game mode. The main idea is that players are split into 2 teams, attackers and defenders. Attackers have to destroy the ancient heart, while the defenders protect it, and whichever team succeeds in their mission will win the match. So overall the PvP is only possible in these specific PvP events, and you won't have access to healing potions, but instead you get to use bandages outside of combat. Bunch of your PvE builds and skills will do a lot less damage against players, so you will have to customize your character specifically for PvP and much more. So then moving over to Black Desert Mobile PvP, and there are a lot more activities than in Diablo Immortal. So for example, you can fight in a 1v1 arena, which is both ranked and casual. Then there are flagged wars, which is basically like guild versus guild PvP but in open world. Then there are node wars and siege wars, which are these guild versus guild events, where 3 guilds fight for castles and nodes. And as a reward you get special zones to farm for 2 hours a day, which gives more orange accessories that makes your progression a lot quicker. Guilds in general max out to 50 players, so these guild versus guild events are often 47 versus 47 and more. And then lastly there is basic open world PvP, where you flag up and then try to fight other flagged up players and much more. So then moving over to my last and final conclusions for both of these games. So first of all, let's take a look at Black Desert Mobile. The pros are that you get the gorgeous graphics for a mobile game. It's pretty close to a PC version in terms of graphics, and if you have the hardware or willing to play on a PC emulator, then this game is 10 out of 10. Then in this game you get auto hand/grind and Black Spirit mode. This feature makes that you can basically AFK grind, and you don't have to spend 8 to 12 hours a day playing a mobile game, just to keep up to the endgame players. Then as well, if you enjoy Black Desert Online on PC, then you will most likely enjoy Black Desert Mobile, due to how similar both of these games are. Then as well, you can enjoy this game as a free-to-play depending on how competitive you want to be. And then lastly, this game has many PvP and PvE activities, so you will find always events that you can do. And then for negatives, this game is very heavy on pay to win. If you want to be a rank 1 player, then forget about it, unless you want to pay. Then there are limited gender locked classes. Then most of your progression is RNG based, so you may get lucky and get an item in 1 hour or in 20 hours. And then lastly, the story mode and the quests are not fun, compared to other games. So then with that said, moving over to Diablo Immortal. And pros are that the game graphics and optimization is amazing. Then the endgame gearing up system is very fun, with a lot of dungeons, open world spots and rifts that you can do, so PvE is very diverse. And then lastly, you only need 2 to 3 hours a day to keep up with the rest of the players. You can of course spend more time playing this game, but then you will get diminishing returns. And then for the cons, the pay to win system is one of the worst from all the mobile games. Then the leveling is pretty boring, and you won't be able to progress just by doing the main storyline. Then there are only 2 to 3 PvP activities that you can do. And then lastly, if you want to farm in open world, then a lot of times you may encounter 20 to 30 players, where if you want to be efficient, then there should be only 4 to 5, which will make your farming not very efficient. So overall, both of these games are free to play, and no matter which one you want to choose, both of them will be worth your time. The pay to win mechanics are very heavy on both of these games, and if you don't want to pay, then you can be the rank 1 player. My point of view is that I would recommend to play Black Desert Mobile for mainly PvP players, that want to participate in 1v1, 50v50 wars and open world ganking. But then for PvE players that are looking to do dungeons, quests and play a game where there are a lot of activities that you can upgrade and do for PvE, then Diablo Immortal is the game for you. Both these games do some things right and some not. So if you want to see the best PvP, then go with the Black Desert, and for the best PvE, go with the Diablo Immortal. Both these games can be played free to play, and if you only do PvE, then you won't be impacted by the pay to win that much. But if you want to do PvP, then of course you will see more often. Both of these games are the best and top tier choice for mobile gamers. So whichever you pick, you can't go wrong, and that's about it. So with that said, I really do appreciate everyone for watching guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback or other good Diablo Immortal or different MMORPG guides or topics that you would like to see in the next video, then feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you won't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day and I will see you in my next video, so take it easy, peace.
Yo, I ain't here